And good evening, folks. Welcome to Javi Unboxed, episode number 4. And tonight we're going to show another couple of projects as far as the college gifts, and we're going to work on. For those of you that have VFDs in your CNC machines, I'll spend a little time talking about that. But let's see what we got as far as projects are concerned. First and foremost, let me go over to the comments and welcome everybody. Welcome Dave Krause, Kevin from Philadelphia. Welcome Ed, Ernest, Glenn, Carrie, Gary, Hitch, and Mike. Welcome one and all. Greg Euler, Paul, how's it going, guys? Good to see you all here. I will be, let's see, let me go ahead and start looking for my, last week we did a couple of projects, and unfortunately the video was, I had problems with the video, so I'm unable to show you at the moment the video creation of the key and everything. But when I get back from my next trip up north, because up north I can't do anything other than stuff on the computer. When I get back from the trip up north, I'll catch up with all the products that I've been designing on the little projects that I do week to week. We'll do another one today. Let's see. We'll continue that key. The band. Refresh your memories, guys. The band that I did, I believe I did show you a picture of that. Yes, I did. So all that's left is to show you the next couple of things. So let me wait for a little while before a few more people join us, and then we'll jump into the VFD situation. And in the meantime, let me go to. By the way, Russ, maybe Dave may be joining us a little later. Russ is on the road at the moment, so he's unable to connect. But they've got the link, so hopefully they'll be coming in soon. Let me breaking resistors. So I'm looking for the video here, hoping that I don't close myself out of StreamYard. The not that button scenario. Okay, and let's see what we got. So trying to see if I can, I had a few pictures here that I wanted to show you guys. In the meantime, does anybody have any questions, regarding anything, really? Okay. I got to jump into my Pinterest pages, because that's where I saved it. Okay, here we go. My boards. And hark, I hear the sweet pitter-patter of a Russ. Welcome, Russ, on the road.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I imagine there's a bit of a delay there, but yep, I can hear you fine.
It's not too loud?
No, perfectly fine, perfectly fine.
Oh, I'm going to drop the sound down. I'm not used to her tablet.
I'm here looking for, I'm trying to look up my, let me mute you while I'm talking. I had a few things on Pinterest that I had saved, but I'm trying to find them now because, as usual, time is short, and I just knocked out 4 other Hobby Boxes CNC controllers, so I've been in a rush to put the show together at not the last minute, but almost.
If it's too loud, well, I'll pick it back up when I get home.
No,
Probably about
you're
45
perfectly
minutes to an
fine. You're
hour.
perfectly fine, Russ.
Okay.
All right. So.
But I known I was going to do this, I'd have shaved.
Well, look at me. I'm in the same boat. Oh, excellent, Mike! Mike found another error on my website. Let me know what it is, and I'll swap it out now. Let's see. I guess there's enough people in here, and welcome Marcello from Niagara. Welcome Kevin, Chuck. Don't know if I said hello to you, so hello. And I'm going to go ahead and start. While Mike is letting me know what misspelling I did on my website, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys a couple of things. In fact, let me. All right, so let's talk VFD. For those of you, we'll get to the college gifts in a second, but for now, for those of you CNC folks out there, and I know there are a lot of you from the count and from the comments, some of you may or may not have a second. Whoop, wrong one. That's what I want. There we go. Some of you may or may not have a VFD, a spindle, or you may be considering a spindle. I highly recommend it. If you like, I'll go into the air versus water and all that and share with you my opinions. But tonight is all about... did I mute myself? No. Can you guys hear me? I'm just... okay. Yeah, Ross can hear me. So Marcello, I don't know if sound is okay. Check your speaker, Marcello. Okay. So anyway, let me go on to, and I apologize. I have next week will be a lot smoother because I have got my Stream Deck now. By the way, let me share with you. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Stream Deck. This is a really cool product, and I'll just go ahead and give them a plug. It's also a pretty somewhat expensive product, but let me share with you what a Stream Deck is. Hey, Bobby, how's it going? And let me go to the share screen, and I'll just share the whole window. So, folks, Stream Deck is this. So you'll see. If you've ever seen this, this is just, I mean, I found it to be the coolest product, and I bought one. I bought the big one here. Did I buy the big one, or did I buy that? No, I think I bought the medium one. I bought the this one's $150. The little one, there's a small one that's only 6 buttons, and then there's the mega one, which is 4x8, so 32 buttons. So 32. 15 or 16 button, and yeah, it's 15 button, 32 button, and the 6 button. Now, the 6 button, I believe, is like $300, something like that. Well, anyway, it's really neat because you can program it any way you want. And when I say program it any way you want, I mean you can actually take your... These are actual images that you program. So into there. So they're like little tiny LCDs in there, and it's buttons. You can do all sorts of fancy stuff. Well, getting back to the why I'm telling you this is because Stream Deck is a fantastic little tool for me, particularly in the service of streaming. And Dave Gatton uses it as well. He turned me on to this thing. And you press a button and you can switch a screen. You can switch a... I don't have to be fumbling around looking for, okay, I want this particular look, or I want this particular look, or or this one. You know, it's a simple matter of hitting one button, and you know, we're going to sharing a screen, or going to the chat window, or even sending a bunch of chat information out. So next week, you'll see every now and then there'll be a little bit of a blurb from me, which will be fully automated, which is a wonderful thing. Mike, I do accept PayPal. I will. Let's see. So but I'll have to get together with you. Let me know what you want, and I'll send you the PayPal information, if anything, or I'll send you the amount and where to send it for the Javi box. Okay, so going back to assuming that's what the question was relating to. So let me, now that I'm been clicking around here, I'm going to go back to my screen, and I shall share with you the what did I close it? Hang on a second. Here we go. Okay, I see it now. Sorry, folks, trying to do the best with what I got here. Okay, so here we go, guys. Sharing the screen. Okay, so let me share with you the, okay. There's what I want. Okay. This is the VFD. Okay, so we have ourselves, this is a close-up. If you open up your VFD, and this is the 1500 or the 2200 watt VFD, you've got all these wonderful little, by the way, I'll have this picture available for you on my website. I'm still working on it, but basically this is the simple shortcut version, if you can read the picture and understand it, of how to hook up either an external speed control on your bottom right here, that's a 10K potentiometer, or a regular switch, an on-off switch. Now, the on-off switch, as you see here, forget about this blue line in the middle, because that's for reverse, and very rare does anybody actually, you know, need that. But basically, a normally open contact will go from DCM, connect to DCM and to the FOR terminals, okay? And this programming over here, these are the settings, PD 001, 2, 44, and 45. And your manual can show you how to set them. You probably know already if you've taken out the machine. You need to switch those settings. Reason being that this switches from internal to external control. Now that is for the start and the stop, okay? So get this straight. This is only for your Javi box or your own switch, or the manual controller that I sell also, to control the let me see if I can do this a different way here. Here we go. Perfect. Now you guys can see me as well. So basically that's one way to, and I'll look at the comments in a second to see if you have any questions. So we're talking about the top and the top left, which is the switch on off, and the programming for that switch is right where it says programming. Now the bottom right shows you a 10K pot, basically, you know, like the old volume controls, you know. And this is to control your speed externally. This is a do-it-yourself thing, but it also applies to the Javi box. The Javi box, when I do have the, if you purchase the spindle cable or the manual switch with the remote control manual spindle control, it has the wire. It has a nice long 15-foot cable, and it has at the end of it those labels: DCM, ACM, FOR, 10 volt, and VI. And so now all you got to do is just plug them all in, And then the important part is to set the programming. And you're good to go. Your hobby box, when you run your CNC program, it'll turn on the spindle. When you turn it off, it'll turn it off. Beautiful. Speed control, I got to be honest with you guys. I prefer not to have my my hobby box, or for that matter anything, control my speed. Some of you have the VFD with the knob on it. If it's in a convenient location, like right on front, then really use the knob. But if it's not, if it's in a remote location, I suggest you get the manual spindle controller that I sell, or make your own, and mount a speed control convenient to you, but make it manual. I like my machine to control the on and off. That way, if I leave or walk away and the job's finished, that thing won't be running forever. It'll shut it off. And I like my speed to be manual because I can adjust it on the fly. I don't. If I program the tool path to, if I program Vectric to run the, hey Al, yep, always count on Russ there, the sidekick, no matter what. He's cracking up over there. So, like I said, that's my personal preference. I prefer the speed to be manual, the other one to be automatic. And you can wire your manual box. If you buy one from me, it has not only the speed control, but a switch. You can have the switch be a kind of an override. So the controller will automatically turn it on and off. But sometimes people go, I'm going to change my bit. I don't want to trust the controller, because there's a way to have it so you have 5 or 6 different bit changes. It'll bring you the bit, and then it'll turn it off. Then you change the bit, and then hit a button, and then it'll continue and turn it on again. That could be dangerous because you've turned it off through software. With the button, you're ensured that it's off. Well, anyway. So that's, in a nutshell, how to wire your VFD. That's the long and the short version of it. If anybody has any questions as far as okay, my contact page has my email address missing in the W and Woodshop. I will double check that right away. But anyway, that's the long and the short of it as far as that's concerned. So let me also clue you in, because there's one more thing you need to know. One last thing you need to know about connecting your spindle. And let me look for the right. Okay. This is one of the pages, but it's not the one I'm looking for. Stand by. I'm hunting for a, here it is. All right. So, okay, folks. Mako, yes, I accept PayPal. I love that. I love that comment. All right, so let me go again through a quick roll call now before I give you that last and final tip for the VFDs. Again, hello, Dave. Now that I remembered, I can click people on the button. Kevin, how's it going? Ed, good to see you. Ernest again. Glenn. Carrie, welcome from Canada. Gary. Hitch from Central Florida. Mike. Paul. Greg. Chuck. Kevin. Good evening. Marcello. And Big D is in the house. That's a beautiful thing. Welcome, Earl. Let's see here. And Bobby, good to see you. Mako Shark, I forget your name. Rob, good to see you, Rob. And let's see here. Clyde, good evening. Good evening, my neighbor up there, Andrew. How's it going? And, well, and of course, my cousin Alex, which is a wonderful thing to have there. Family's a beautiful thing. All right, so Okay, so here we are, folks. You'll notice this is a zoomed in picture. Well, here, let me show you what's happening here? I think Russ is trying to reconnect, but he hasn't reconnected yet. But anyway, here is a. Okay, you notice this is again this same connection. If you remove the bottom two covers, here's the bottom two covers of the. This is the bottom of your VFD, and where all the wires are connected. And you notice here on the right where my arrow is. I don't know if you can see my arrow, but you'll notice on the right there's a little jumper. Well, let me zoom in on that little section, and that is the little jumper is labeled VIVR. Now, for those of you that have a speed knob on the controller, that jumper is jumped over to the right for VR. Okay, you have to switch it aside from connecting these three cables. This is basically the negative, this is the positive, and this is the control. Aside from a 10K pot, aside from connecting these three wires to control it, to be able to control it, because those three wires won't do anything if you don't have this jumper set. So the jumper will switch it from internal VR or from the pot to VI. And so all you got to know is you need to jump that jumper if you're going to do that. So, okay, that's the long and the short of it. Now let's move on to our to some of our college projects. By the way, next week's episode. Okay, you got it, Mike. I will. I'll send you a. I'll send you a PayPal for it, and hopefully I can send that to you pretty soon, because I am. It'll probably be the 5th or the 6th when I get one of them. I'm going to try as soon as I can. I've got 2 people. I've got 5 boxes. I'll get to you by the latest mid-September. So it'll be 4 weeks on the outside, which is very rare because normally it takes me 6 weeks normally. But anyway, let's go back to the. Okay, so I did show you guys last week. I did show you guys this. Hang on a second. This picture, and this is this is one of the things that I was suggesting. Simple sign. This happens to be the 4 members of that person's. Brian, Andy, Nick, and Dennis, whatever. And names don't matter, but well, actually, they do matter. Come up with something creative using their letters, and you can make a simple sign, and they can hang it up on their common area of their dorm. Most of those dorms are most of the college dorms. If you have a kid going into college, is are 4-people dorms. So try to come up with something. It's usually 2 and 2, like in the case of my daughter, or 4 people all together. They all share a common room. So you've got the idea for presents for the common room, or sometimes you've got 4 individual rooms and they can have their own thing. Sometimes it's 2 per room. Whatever the situation is, you can always come up with something nice. And since you're all woodworkers and you're all creative, or crafts people and creative, you can come up with something incredibly nice and fun. And it's not just a present for your son or daughter going to college, but it'd be nice to give the others, although you want to shower more gifts for your kid, it'd be nice to give the others a little something, whether it's something individual for their desk or whatever, something useful, something, and then give it to your son or daughter to give to them, and then it endears them. it helps them form a little bit more of a bond. Okay, so Carrie's got a question. Do I have to add the new power cord to the VFD? Do I have to add a new power cord to the VFD? No, let me see if I have a picture. Well, I don't have a picture of the, let me look for a picture of the VFD. Hang on a second. Huang Yang VFD. Let me just find one online here. A picture showing the, okay, here's one. Nope, that's a YouTube. Let me look for photos. Okay, here we go. Stand by, looking for the actual photo. And, okay. Share screen, application window. There you are. Okay. So you'll notice this is the original photo that I had, just that top section. That top section is what I was talking about for the connection for the Javi box. Okay, this top section. This bottom section here, you'll notice, is how to hook up your spindle. I mean, that doesn't change. You've got your ground, you've got your 220 source on the left, and you've got your 3 wires, which is U, V, and W. U, V, and W go to your spindle. There are usually only 3 connections on your spindle, and thus, you know, UV and UV and W go to them. Now, if it's running backwards, for those of you that have connected this or have tried this, and it runs in the wrong way, switch any 2 wires, and you're done. It's 3 wires, so it's like 1, 2, 3. If it's 1, 3, 2, well, then it's in the wrong order. So, regardless, all you got to do is switch two of the 3 wires, and that's it. Ground is ground. Ground is always ground. Don't mess with that one. That's from power. That's not from. There's no ground on the spindle or anything like that. Although you could, if you wanted to, ground the spindle. That's not necessary. Now, what I will say, and this is going back to the other picture I had, if you do create your own control and you have a shielded cable, which is completely not necessary, but if you have a shielded cable, do not make the mistake of A, grounding it to the wrong ground or some other ground, or B, not grounding it at all. Because a shielded cable, ungrounded, becomes an antenna and actually amplifies any signals, and basically it's the opposite effect of what the shield is for. You want to ground it to that green line, to that ground on the VFD. Only on the VFD. Do not ground to both places, to both ground and ground. You do that through the separate cable. Don't ask me why, but trust me, that's the proper way to do it. All right. So Alex's daughter's dorm friends misspelled warts 5 in a room. That's funny. That's great. I could do something with that. Create a nice big frog with lots of warts and put a big WARTS on each one of them, and that'll be their motto. So again, oh, by the way, guys, next week is going to be I'm going to do my best to have a complete show. It's going to be on organization. It may be a 2 or 3 parter, but organization. Now, granted, you're thinking to yourselves, man, I've seen your videos, Javi. Make room for Javi. I don't know if I want to take organizational tips from you. Well, 2 points I have to mention. Number 1, you haven't seen the organized sections of my room and of my world. and which are extremely organized. My cousin, who is a neat freak, can attest to that. And secondly, well, maybe 3 points. Second, the reason why it's so disheveled most of the time is because there's just not enough space to fully organize everything. But number 3, and most importantly, I wouldn't be able to fit anything or walk in here with the amount of stuff that I have if it wasn't to some level or degree organized. But getting back to that, I can guarantee you're going to have some fun listening to some organizational tips and how the process goes, at least my process of organization. And you may find it's always entertaining, and you may find some use out of it, considerable amount of use. Many of us want to be always organized all the time. Most of us, by design, we're makers, we're creative, we're adaptive, and we're busy, and we don't always have time to fully organize everything. And unless you're that person who puts everything back in its place the second you're finished with it and interrupts your work, then anyway, Diet Coke, my Diet Coke storage. But yeah, that'll that might be for a future episode. I don't know if it's. And by the way, it's Diet Coke warehouse, not room. Oh, here, okay, no, that's Russ hasn't come back yet. I was looking at something else. Okay, so let me see if I can pull up some of those other little handy things. One of the items that I wanted to show you guys is a perpetual calendar is a neat idea for a college dorm room. Namely, and I'll show you which one right now. Hang on. Bear with me. Try to pull it up here. All right. And again, this would be a lot easier if I had buttons ready to go. Alrighty, share screen, application. There you go. So this particular, I like this particular calendar or something similar to it. It's really nice if your son or daughter is well, if they're going to college and they have a certain level of discipline and organization, then they might enjoy this, and you can always see what date it is. And this is something extremely easy to make on the CNC. Something similar to this, not exactly this, but this one's one that I found on Etsy, and I believe they're selling it for somewhere in the neighborhood of $45. So think about it. We can create these things out of a scrap piece of wood, and with the little effort and the work, it's a beautiful thing. So anyway, that's one option. And let's see what else we got here. There are a number of items. Coasters are always popular. You can have coasters. Like I mentioned last time, I had a. See, I'm trying to look for the ideas now. One of the things that I saw that I really enjoyed, and I'll go through with you now in Vectric and just I'll show you a quick way to put this to slap this together. You're going to have to envision it, but it's nothing more than a and again, after I designed this, after I get back from my trip, I'll be building one, so I'll show you what I talked about. But let me go ahead and share the screen here and do the. And I'm going to. Let's see here. Coming up. Okay, I know I clicked the button. There he goes. Okay, so let me get my little VCarve throw going. We'll create a new file. And now what we want to do is the following. Let me share what I'm actually doing. What I'm going to create is, now I've looked at my daughter's dorm room, and it's very, very minimalistic. I mean, they got 2 to a room. It's a small room. It's the size of her bedroom, yet 2 beds are in it. 2 desks are in it. It's all metal, and they're each of the kids gets a couple of 4 drawers underneath, and these sliding things underneath their bed. If it were me, and then I'll tell you guys, if it were me, if I was young, the first thing I would be doing is creating a very solid piece of furniture that I'll show you what I got in mind. Let me let's see if I'll pull one up here. What I've got in mind is something like something like this. So this, to me, this is actually what I would do. Hey, I would take the bed, the existing, something similar to this. I would take the existing bed, that's a metal bed, and I'd build either some drawers on the left and on the right, and a desk in the middle. Maybe not this exact model, but something like this. Raise the bed up in the air. She's got a 10-foot ceiling on that place, and it's all that wasted space up in the air. Now, granted, maybe she might be tired after a long day, and she might not want to climb a ladder to her bed or something like that. But if it were me, this is what I would want to do in my dorm. I mean, look at all this waste of space underneath the bed that you could just, utilize. I think that's a cool thing. All right, so I was talking about the desk. The desk it's a small desk. I mean, we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 18 inches deep by maybe 30 inches wide. 30, yeah, not even 36. It's 30 inches it's just a plain Jane simple desk like you see in one of these hotel rooms, and then with a 1 drawer coming out of it. She's got a few, she's got her laptop there, and she's got all her knickknacks and everything. It would be advantageous to build some sort of a wooden, let's see, I don't know what you call it, an organizer, for lack of a better word, something that will hold notepads, paper clips, all that stuff, her phone, her laptop, chargers, whatever, a bunch of different compartments on top, and at the same time 3 or 4 or 5 slots. I don't have any here with me, but slots for paper, like you often see. It's a simple. Have a nice evening, Clyde, and we'll see you guys soon. Let's see. It's missing a keg holder. Yeah, well, Yeah, she's not a drinker, so. But yeah, I guess the guys that come in her room, but she's also got a boyfriend, so anyway, she's an IB. She's ahead of the game. She's a nerd. There's going to be nothing but studying in that place, and it's a beautiful nerd school. That's every father's dream. Mine anyway. So, yeah. Send me here. Hang on. Let me send you. Go to here. Let me send you my. I don't know if I sent you this already, but you can. That's my public one, so you can just go ahead and shoot me an email there, and send me your email address, or actually, I'll send you my. Yeah, send me your email address, and I'll send you my PayPal information, and we'll take care of that. So, all I'm getting at is now. You can do this with a simple table saw. Anybody that doesn't have a CNC, so it's a very, very simple thing to do. If you know how to make rabbits with a table saw, but having a CNC makes it really, really easy. So let's go to. I'll spend like 5 minutes and show you some of the basics. And again, I'm basically going to create this on the fly. We'll do a couple of, the side pieces. So let's do the side pieces. I'm just going to go real quick. The side pieces would be, I'm going to estimate how deep. Let's see, it's an 8.5 by 11 paper. So let's go. I want them to stick out a little so you don't have to reach in to get them. So I'll go 8.25 inches deep. Now let's just go a full 8 inches deep because the back will be 1/4 inch. So, and I'm using 1/4 inch plywood or 1/4 inch, some type of 1/4 inch material for this. So let's create a rectangle that's, how high do I want it? I don't know. Make it 16 inches high for now, and we'll modify it if we have to. And again, 8.5 inches deep. These are, or this will be, one of the sides. So I'll take the side and so let's take this side piece and we'll do some sort of a nice little curve on it. Okay, so we'll just take we'll draw an arc, and we'll do the arc from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here. We'll neaten it up later. All right, so there's your arc. That's a really horrible arc, but whatever. Let's join these. Again, I'm doing this now for speed, not for anything else. Let's see if there we go. Okay, so there's the one piece. Now, obviously, the other one is going to be mirrored. Let me make this smooth. There we go. Okay, so you can tell already what I'm beginning to do. These are the side pieces, or this one is one side piece, and then we'll do the old. Mirror, create a mirrored copy and flip horizontal. Bam. All right, and we move it over here. There we go. We have our two pieces. Now what we're going to do, actually, yeah, we have our two pieces. Now what I am going to do is I am going to create one first, and then I'll mirror it after. I just showed you what they look at. Now remember, this center part here, that's the front. These two left and right side are the back. These are the two sides of our little compartment thing. I'm just showing you the basics of how to go about doing this. Now, what we'll do here is we'll create from here. We're going to make a, let's see, the width is going to be 8.5, and the height is going to be 1/4 inch. And we will make it here. We will do one over here. Oh, that's not 8.5 inches wide. What happened? See, 8.5 inches. Hang on a second. How big is this thing? 4.5 width. Yeah, I somehow, well, anyway, that's easy to fix. We'll just do one of these things. Sorry, folks, just do bear with me here. There we go. Okay, fine. This is just for the sake of, again, everything I do is for the sake of expediency. Okay, so we have our sides, and now what I'm going to be doing with these little bars, for those of you who've done this numerous times before, now eventually I'll put it at the right height, but let's see, this one is at 1 inch. Let's see, it's at 1.5. So let's go. We'll put it about there. We'll put it about there. We'll put it about there, and then we'll put one right here. All right. Now, again, I'll figure all these out eventually. What I can do here is take all of these, align them, and make them even. All right, beautiful. Now they're nice and even. Now, again, these are going to be rabbets. For those of you not wondering what we're doing here, these are going to be rabbits, and this is basically one side, and this is going to be the other side. These are, and now we do want to extend them. I'll show you now here. We want to extend these out, because we don't want the little curve in there. We want to, and eventually we'll take our pocket. This is 1/4 inch deep. By the way, let me just check, make sure nobody's popped in or I have any messages. All right, so or any comments. So we have our pockets, which simple board, 8.5 by say 12 inches wide or 14 inches wide, whatever you want it to be, will slide right in. Simple glue, and you're done. So here we go. We got this is going to be, we'll select a 1/4 inch end mill. And we'll do the calculations for, but we get rid of the V-bit. We don't need that. We'll do this for 0.25. Calculate. I want to make sure that my, yeah, 0.5. Okay. So we've got our pockets, and now all we need is our I hate this mouse. Okay, there we go. And now all we need is our profile. So here's the profile toolpath. On the outside, we go to 0.5. So we cut out that piece. You worry about the details later, but for right now, reset, preview all visible toolpaths. Okay, why did the toolpath not go all the way down? Because it's the wrong bit. That's strange. Okay. That's more like it. Okay, so we have our piece. Let me. So now you have an idea of what I'm trying to do here. A better visual idea. Some of you have. I understand sometimes when you're trying to come up with. Oh, that's not good. Well, anyway, you get the idea. Let me just do this thing here. So this is one side of the thing. The boards just slide in here, the regular rectangular boards, and by the same token, on top of your, oh, by the way, this will also rabbet a piece back here, or we'll just nail it to the back. I mean, it's your call. You want to do something nice, rabbet it like I did down here, and you can insert the board, and you'll have nice hidden features. Use some nice wood, and there you are. So this is the basic premise, and now you're going to take your. Let me go full screen here. There you go. Now you're going to take a wood that's approximately 8.5 by. Okay, we said 14 because we want to fit legal paper in there, or maybe 16. I don't know. Let's just do 12. Let's not go crazy. So actually 12 by 8.5, just so you guys can see it a little better. Imagine this board that you cut out will be sliding into here. Okay. Now, obviously you're going to have numerous boards. So now person can fit some paper here. And on this top board, what I would do, let me check on my time here. 8:53. We're getting close to the end, so I'll just answer any questions you might have. Basically, on the top board, all you do is take. Let's see. We'll just 0.5. So we'll just take whatever. We'll do a couple of these things, and then we'll do 0.5 by, I don't know, maybe 3 inches, whatever it is. We'll do a couple of these things. So in the end, I am making a few more pockets, very ugly ones at that, but again, all this gets neatened up. This is just for speed here. All right, so we have our preview all toolpaths. Okay, we have our pieces. Yeah, again, that's a lousy piece right there. It's got to be better, but imagine this piece will be sliding into the top of this, and both of these pieces will have grooves on them. It will be sliding into the top of this, and basically this is the top. All you got to do is cut a few more little tiny pieces, and you make little cubicles. You can cut any shapes on them you want. You can make it. You could follow along with this design. You can cut a piece. You can cut one here. One of these rabbits, you could put it on the side here and make tall compartments. So in the end, all I'm creating is, again, very, very basic, very simple, nothing but a bunch of squares and dados. And something like that could be very useful. Can I explain the e-stop switch? Absolutely. The wiring of the e-stop switch. For the hobby box, the e-stop is wired to input number 1. Input number 1 is already set up. So if the two contacts on input number 1, if they touch, that shoots off, that resets, that sets off the e-stop. And the e-stop button that I send has a long wire, pre-wired. It's got a connector, and all you got to do is you hit the button. It'll short out the thing, and obviously to reset the e-stop, you have to turn it, and it'll pop back up. How do you wire an e-stop? That depends on what you're wiring it to. If you're wiring it to a if you're wiring it to a hobby box, there's your answer. You just plug in the plug, or any JST plug, or clip off the number 1 plug from the breakout cable, and wire your own wires. Wire them in series. In other words, if you have more than one e-stop, if you have one e-stop, It's a normally open connection. Most of those yellow and black e-stops are, you open them up and you look inside and they have a red and a blue side. I mean, sorry, a green and a red side. Wire it to the 2 green terminals. The red is the normally closed side. The green is the normally open side. So normally open, and then you hit the button and it'll close the contact. If you have one, you wire the 2 wires from there to the two connections there. If you have more than one, you wire one wire to one connection. You wire them in series. So you connect one of them, and anywhere along the way, you can cut or clip a wire, and then continue to the next e-stop. So it's basically from the black or the red, from the black of the input number 1, you go to one green terminal of the e-stop, another green terminal of the e-stop, continue, another green terminal of the e-stop, second green terminal of the e-stop, continue, a third e-stop if you want, green, green, continue, and down back to the other color, see, I said black, so red. So that's the simple way of wiring the e-stop. If you are doing it with a bob, with a breakout board, you are going to have to, you're on your own. You have to, number 1, you have to set up Mach 3. So whichever input, let's say you're using input, I'm just going to throw a number out there, 17. Let's say you're using input number 17. Then, and you're going to be normally high. So you run the same connections, like I said. One goes to pin 17, run it to your e-stops, and the other one, and then the wire loops back around to ground. That's if it's normally high, and then normally low. Well, either way, you can switch the polarity in Mach 3. You can also wire it to +5 on your breakout board. So it's either one or the other, and then you can set it on your Mach 3. That's the breakout board. If you're doing it on any one of the USB controllers, it's a simple matter. You have 4, or 6, depending on which USB controller you buy, inputs, and then you take the input. Let's say input number 1. Again, you have to, now at this point, you have to go figure out your USB driver, and you have to configure it, and it gets a little hairy there, but you have to configure whatever you connect it to, but the connection's the same either way. One wire on one side goes to a bunch of different things, and then to ground, or +5. Again, there are many roads lead to Rome. So that's the short and the long of it. As far as the Javi Box controller, you take the controller, you plug in the power, you plug in the USB, you plug in the 4 motors, your breakout cable, the input number 1 goes to your e-stop, screw your e-stop wherever you want it, you're up and running. Probe, input number 2, you're up and running. Limit switches, no, I'm sorry. Probe is number 3. Limit switches is number 2. So limit switches, again, plug them in, you're up and running. As many as you want in the plugs in series, but they're wired in parallel. I know that sounds a little confusing, but the bottom line is order as many limit switches as you want. You plug one into the next one. Let's see. That's it. So hopefully that answers your question, Dennis. And normally, yeah, wait a second. You're right. Hang on a second. My mind is going. Thanks, Marcia. It's normally open, and they are going to be let me see. Was it normally open or normally closed? Now I'm trying to remember. No. It's definitely normally open. So yeah. So my bad. You have to wire them in parallel. So forget what I said about one wire leading to the next one. You have to you have to attach. Let's say you have an e-stop. Attach the 2 wires to the green of the e-stop. Splice them. Attach 2 more wires to the next one, etc., etc., etc. I don't know where my mind was at. So many years of electrical engineering in school, and well, that's what happens. It's my a funny story. My wife has a PhD or EDDs, same difference. She has a doctorate, and when she was doing her dissertation and stuff like that, it's so funny because, and this happens to quite a number of people in school. Once they get their doctorate, it's like all of a sudden they go blank. They don't. It's like they've been working so hard for it that the next day you can ask them anything, they will not know the answer. It's the funniest thing. She jokes about it all the time. Yeah, I got a doctorate. I forgot everything. So same thing's happening with me. I'm getting old. It's that CRS, folks. It's that CRS. Well, it's 9:03, so I am going to bid you all a fond farewell. And next week, like I said, is going to be we'll do the show on organization, probably in the next couple weeks. And when I get back in town, we're going to do a few more projects. So we'll try to do a project a week pretty soon, probably at the end of September, folks. At the end of September, I'm going to be doing a show and tell. So I would appreciate if everybody sends me pictures. My email is my email's right there. It's in the thing there. Next week I'll post it and I'll remind you. But shoot me any pictures or like 30-second videos if you got them, but really pictures of any projects that you're working on or doing, or whether it's connecting your hobby box to a Gatton or some other CNC, or whether you're building a Gatton, or whether you're creating a really cool anything, a cornhole board, a simple sign, your first sign, whatever. Just shoot me a little story behind it. I'd love to talk about it and share everything. I mean, I'm sure everybody loves hearing all that and seeing. I mean, people love show and tell. I know I love to see it on Dave's show. So at the end of September, I'll be doing a show and tell. Start sending me your photos, and I'll look forward to sharing them. You guys all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next week, Saturday, same bat time, same bat channel. Good night, all.